over the weekend, Caitlin Clark scored more points. And if you watch network news, it'll say she's the all-time leading scorer in Division I history, which I guess technically is true. She did score more points than anyone who's played Division I basketball. Division I basketball. But why are we comparing her to the men now? Why are we doing that? How does that make any sense? And I believe it diminishes the whole thing. And why are we doing it? We're doing it to somehow validate what she's done. Like all the attention, all the claim, Fox Television this weekend decided to put that game on as opposed to any of the men's college games they could have had on during that same window. They put on Ohio State. Was it Ohio State? Yeah, Ohio State versus Iowa. And remember, Ohio State had beaten Iowa at Ohio State. That's when she got bumped into with a woman who was running on her phone on the court at the Schottenstein Center. Do you guys remember that? That was like 3-4 weeks ago. Okay, 3-4 weeks ago. So this is kind of interesting to me. It infuriates me that we do she scored more points than Pistol Pete. Why do we do that? There's a woman named Andrea Nagy. Does anybody know the name Andrea Nagy? Anyone? Nope. Do you know why? Well, she's the all-time assist leader in women's college basketball. Now, actually, the all-time assist leader played at Penn State, but it was before we recognized women's basketball, so her 1,300 assists go by the wayside. Anyway, meanwhile, in my lifetime, I recognize the all-time assist leader in men's basketball as Bobby Hurley. Bobby Hurley had 1,076 assists. When he finished in, was it 1992? He was the assist king. Andrea Nagy passed him in 1995. She has 1,165 assists. Matter of fact, Courtney Van Sloot in 2011 at Gonzaga, also technically more assists than Bobby Hurley. Heck, Sabrina Ionescu. You guys know who Sabrina Ionescu is? She has her own shoe with Nike. She was Caitlin Clark before there was Caitlin Clark just a couple years ago, right? She finished in 2020. COVID cut her career short. It sucks. Sabrina was, again, she didn't captivate the country's attention the way that Caitlin did. Caitlin, by the way, is 5th all-time in women's assists. And oh yeah, Caitlin Clark is 18 assists shy of passing Bobby Hurley. Will anybody mention it? No. You know why? Because it's bull. It's a different sport with different rules. By the way, played against a different gender. UConn I believe, has 4 undefeated seasons. UConn's women, 4 undefeated seasons. I've covered college basketball for 22 years. 22 years. And every year we've had an undefeated team. St. Joe's was the first one I remember, right? St. Joe's with Jameer Nelson and those guys. They lost to my alma mater, Oklahoma State, in 2004 on the Elite Eight. They went 30-0, I believe, in the regular season, lost in the A-10 tournament. And when they lost, did anybody say, hey, the last undefeated team was? No, they didn't say UConn women. They said 1976 Indiana men. Do you know why? Because it's men's basketball. So I know why we do it. We do it to somehow validate what Caitlin Clark has done. But what you end up doing is many of the people like myself that champion what Caitlin Clark is doing and how she's doing it end up getting so turned off by it because it's just so fake. Why would we do that? We never compare the other way around. If somehow a college basketball player plays for 4 years at the same school and scores more points than Caitlin Clark, do you know what we will never say? Pass Caitlin Clark. He'll say, we passed Pete Maravich for the all-time record. No one's ever said they passed Lynette Woodard, even though she's finally getting the recognition she deserves. right? We didn't do that, and let's not be false about it. She wasn't. We don't say she's the all-time scoring leader in all of college basketball history, which she's not, because there's Division II. Wait, if women's basketball and men's basketball are the same record-wise, why can't we do D2 and NAIA? Why not? Why not? It's still college. There's, the guy from Grinnell. What was the kid from Grinnell who scored like 100 points and all they did was shoot 3-point shots? Why don't we say, hey, nobody's ever scored 100? Why don't we compare that? Why? Because it's NAIA basketball. Well, it's not NCAA basketball. It's college basketball. At least the rules are the same and the basketball size is the same. We don't do it. Tell me somewhere it's done. It's not. We made it up. Why we make things up? To somehow make something more valid, to make it feel better. You don't have to. You don't have to. Stop it. Okay, whoever the Hembo dude is that produces Mike Greenberg's show. I get it, dude. You're a stat dude or whatever. But you look like a dork. And we're all sports dorks on some level. Like the fact that I've watched all of these Maravich memories tapes, like I'm a sports dork. The fact that I played in college, that doesn't stop me from being a sports dork. Okay, but I don't artificially make something greater than it actually is when it just appears to be totally phony. And what it does, here's what it triggers to a bunch of us who actually lived the life of college athletics. Okay? It's we want to be equal. We want to be the same. I'm like, look, you're not. There are things that you get that are benefits of the doubt. For example, women's basketball gets 2 more scholarships than men. Do you guys know that? Right. Do you know why? Well, do you see what happened at Davidson College, where Steph Curry went? They were having a great season. They had like 6 women. I think 6 women go down with ACL injuries. And so they don't feel like they have a team. They don't have enough girls. So their season's over. 18-10 on the year, season over, not playing the conference tournament. This is a real story. By the way, if men did the same thing, people would go like, are you kidding me? Go find some dudes in the intramural and have them play. That's what teams have done. Right? But you do it because women's bodies are actually, the game is harder on their knees than it is on men based upon the width of their hips and how there's science behind it. They're much more likely to tear an ACL than a man is likely to tear an ACL because there's much more pressure put on women's knees playing the exact same sport. But the point is, women actually get more scholarships. And they want the equal everything when they don't make equal revenue. And as I've stated this before, like as popular as women's basketball has become, and it is rising in popularity, that's inarguable. And I think there's other factors to it other than just the game is good. I think a lot of it's the mess that is college basketball. You can't identify players on any of these teams because they all switch places all the time. So women's basketball has figured out a lot of different things about marketing, about staying at your school, about building up these stars. Like, it's really good. But the value on the new TV deal is $65 million a year. The value in the men's TV deal for the exact same tournament is $750 million a year. Like, it's just not equal. It's not the same thing. Let's stop comparing. Don't compare it. It actually does women's basketball a disservice. So you're going to walk away, and I'm sure a good portion go like, Gottlieb's just a hater on women's basketball. Like, I don't know. My brother actually now is a women's basketball coach. I'm friends with several of the high-level coaches. I think the sport is, in many ways, better than it's ever been and gaining in popularity. It is not close to the popularity of the men's game. The men's game is far more screwed up because once the money started coming in, everybody wanted theirs, and like everything else, it screws everything up. And I have been a champion of Caitlin Clark, including through the Jay Williams, you can't be great unless you win a championship thing, which is moronic. But at some point you get to the point where you're just like, no, we're not doing that because it's dumb. We don't do it in any other aspect of college basketball. We don't compare across sports. We've never done it with assists. We've never done it with rebounds. We don't do it with block shots. Why would we? And we also don't do it in different levels. D2 records, D3 levels, NAIA levels. We don't compare them to anybody else's. Why would we compare women's basketball to men? Stop it. You sound like a dummy. You sound like so badly you want more shine. When she got the primetime spot on Fox, man, you can't get any more shine than what she's got. Buyer, did I offend you? If I did, I'm like, I don't know your feelings on this side.
I felt that this was the least organic, and that's what made Caitlin Clark's story so great, was it was so organic. And it felt very manufactured yesterday.
That's really good. He's good. That was good. I talked for 20 minutes and made no sense, and you talked for 10 seconds with 2 sentences, and you got it. You nailed it. Yes. Yes. Yes.